Narrated by Nafi. When Abdullah bin Umar set out for Mecca intending to perform Umrah, at the time of afflictions, he said, "If I should be prevented from reaching the Kaaba, then I would do the same as Allah's Messenger peace be upon him did, so I assume the Ihram for Umrah as Allah's Messenger peace be upon him assumed the Ihram for Umrah in the year of Hudaybiyah." Narrated by Nafi. That Ubaydullah bin Abdullah and Salim bin Abdullah informed him that they told Ibn Umar when Ibn Az-Zubair was attacked by the army, saying, "There is no harm for you if you did not perform Hajj this year. We are afraid that you may be prevented from reaching the Kaaba." Ibn Umar said, "We set out with Allah's Messenger peace be upon him, and the non-believers of Quraysh prevented us from reaching the Kaaba, and so the Prophet peace be upon him slaughtered his hadi and got his head shaved." Ibn Umar added, "I make you witnesses that I have made Umrah obligatory for me. And Allah willing, I will go, and then if the way to Kaaba is clear, I will perform the tawaf, but if I am prevented from going to the Kaaba, then I will do the same as the Prophet peace be upon him did while I was in his company." Ibn Umar then assumed Ihram for Umrah from Dhul Hulayfa and proceeded for a while and said, "The conditions of Umrah and Hajj are similar, and I make you witnesses that I have made Umrah and Hajj obligatory for myself." So he did not finish the Ihram till the day of Nahr, slaughtering came, and he slaughtered his hadi. He used to say, "I will not finish the Ihram till I perform the tawaf, one tawaf on the day of entering Mecca, of Safa and Marwa for both Umrah and Hajj." Narrated by Nafi. Some of the sons of Abdullah told him, "Abdullah, if he had stayed, and not performed Hajj that year." Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him was prevented from performing Umrah. Therefore, he shaved his head and had sexual relations with his wives and slaughtered his hadi and performed Umrah in the following year. Narrated by Salim. Abdullah bin Umar used to say, "Is not the following of the tradition of Allah's Messenger peace be upon him sufficient for you? If any one of you is prevented from performing Hajj, he should perform the tawaf of the Kaaba and between As-Safa and Al-Marwa, and then finish the Ihram, and everything will become legal for him which was illegal for him during the state of Ihram, and he can perform Hajj in a following year, and he should slaughter a hadi or fast in case he cannot afford the hadi." Narrated by Al-Miswar. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him slaughtered the hadi before he had his head shaved, and then he ordered his companions to do the same. Narrated by Nafi that Abdullah and Salim said to Abdullah bin Umar, "You should not go for Hajj this year." Abdullah bin Umar replied, "We set out with the Prophet to Mecca for performing Umrah, and the infidels of Quraysh prevented us from reaching the Kaaba. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him slaughtered his budn, camels for sacrifice, and got his head shaved." Narrated by Nafi. When Abdullah bin Umar set out for Mecca with the intentions performing Umrah in the period of afflictions, he said, "If I should be prevented from reaching the Kaaba, then I would do the same as we did while in the company of Allah's Messenger peace be upon him." So he assumed the Ihram for Umrah, since the Prophet peace be upon him had assumed the Ihram for Umrah in the year of Al-Hudaybiyah. Then Abdullah bin Umar thought about it and said, "The conditions for both Hajj and Umrah are similar." He then turned towards his companions and said, "The conditions of both Hajj and Umrah are similar, and I make you witnesses that I have made the performance of Hajj obligatory for myself along with Umrah." He then performed one tawaf, between As-Safa and Al-Marwa, for both of them, Hajj and Umrah, and considered that to be sufficient for him and offered a hadi. Narrated by Abdurrahman bin Abu Layla. Ka'b bin Ujayra said that Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said to him, "Ka'b, perhaps your lice have troubled you." Ka'b replied, "Yes." "O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him." Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, "Have your head shaved and then either fast 3 days or feed 6 poor persons or slaughter 1 sheep as a sacrifice." Narrated by Ka'b bin Ujayra. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him stood beside me at Al-Hudaybiyah and the lice were falling from my head in great number. He asked me, "Have your lice troubled you?" I replied in the affirmative. He ordered me to get my head shaved. Ka'b added, "This holy verse, and if any of you is ill, or has ailment in his scalp, Surah 2 verse 196, etc. was revealed regarding me. The Prophet peace be upon him then ordered me either to fast 3 days, or to feed 6 poor persons with 1 farak, 3 saa, of dates, or to slaughter a sheep, etc., sacrifice whatever was available. Narrated by Abdullah bin Makhl. I sat with Ka'b bin Ujayra and asked him about the fidya. He replied, "This revelation was revealed concerning my case especially, but it is also for you in general. I was carried to Allah's Messenger peace be upon him and the lice were falling in great number on my face. The Prophet peace be upon him said, I have never thought that your ailment, or struggle, has reached to such an extent as I see. Can you afford a sheep?" I replied in the negative. He then said, "Fast for 3 days, or feed 6 poor persons each with half a sa of food. 1 sa equals 3 kilograms approximate." Narrated by Abdurrahman bin Abu Layla. Reporting the speech of Ka'b bin Ujayra, Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saw him, Ka'b, while the lice were falling on his face. He asked him, "Have your lice troubled you?" He replied in the affirmative. So he ordered him to get his head shaved while he was at Al-Hudaybiyah. At that time they were not permitted to finish their ihram, and were still hoping to enter Mecca. So Allah revealed the verses of Al-Fidya. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him ordered him to feed 6 poor persons with 1 farak of food or to slaughter 1 sheep as a sacrifice or to fast for 3 days. Narrated by Ka'b bin Ujayra. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saw him, Ka'b, while the lice were falling on his face. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, "Whoever performs Hajj to this house, Kaaba, and does not approach his wife for sexual relations nor commits sins, while performing Hajj, he will come out as sinless as a newly born child, just delivered by his mother." Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "Whoever performs Hajj to this Kaaba and does not approach his wife for sexual relations nor commit sins, while performing Hajj, he will come out as sinless as a newborn child, just delivered by his mother."